But I'm talking about the MS-13 gang members, the drug cartels, the cartels themselves, violent gang members, murderers, rapists, sex traffickers, all of these people, sex offenders, everybody. These are what the leftists want to allow to come into this country by having open borders. And it makes sense because those same people I just talked about, those criminals, don't like America. They don't like American value system. They don't like American ideals. And it's the same thing with the leftists. They don't like American value system. They don't like American ideals, which is why you see them burning the flags, destroying our cities left and right. So all this stuff makes sense as why Biden's doing what he's doing, because it caters to the leftist ideology that America is bad. America is evil. It's systemically racist. Welcome to the Bald Brad Show. Before we get into our story, please take a moment right now to hit that like and subscribe button. It really does help support the channel and also allows us to grow here at the Bald Brad Show, so your help would be greatly appreciated. And with that being said, our story of the day is an update, breaking news on what is going on with the immigration crisis that is happening at the U.S.-Mexico border. We got a lot of stats for you folks, graphs, all the good stuff. This comes from our friends over at the Daily Wire. It is written by Ryan Saavedra, and he titles it, Breaking: Biden's Border Crisis Significantly Worsens for 5th Consecutive Month, folks. Ryan starts the article off by saying Democrat President Joe Biden's border crisis significantly worsened during the month of June after nearly 190,000 illegal aliens. 190,000. That's unbelievable. Just try to wrap your head around apprehending 190,000 people in 1 month. Unbelievable statistics here. Were apprehended on the U.S. southern border in what was the 5th consecutive month of rising numbers. Now remember, this whole thing about, oh, well, it's not a crisis, it's just a challenge, it's a little itty-bitty problem that we kind of caused for ourselves, we'll go ahead and handle it. You know, you claim Kamala Harris as the border czar. She flies over the border. She goes to freaking Honduras, El Salvador, wherever the hell she went, passing out her cookies to everybody, and doesn't even solve anything. She thinks just having nice little diplomatic conversations is going to fix the issue, when in reality, you're removing the policies that Trump had in place that solved the problem, or at least diminished it in some way, shape, or form a little bit here. You stop the border construction of the wall, and then you wonder why you have this crisis, but then again, you won't call it a crisis. It's just a little bit of a challenge that you have no intention of solving. Case in point right here, when your numbers are increasing every month. They're not decreasing. The numbers are only going up, folks. So I don't know what the Biden administration is doing in all this, but clearly they're not doing their job here. The CBP said that 188,829 migrants were encountered at the southern border, an increase from the 180,034 encountered in May. Fox News reported. It is also a sharp rise since when President Biden took office. There were 78,000 encounters in January. So this guy has only made the problem worse. But remember, the media are going to paint the picture as if it was Trump's problem. It was the previous administration's problem. It isn't Biden's problem. He's not the one that caused this. This is where they gaslight stuff and make it seem like everything's Trump's fault, nothing's Biden's fault. The number of unaccompanied children encountered increased by 8%. When 15,253 encounters in June compared to 14,137 in May. So again, the numbers of unaccompanied children are only increasing. But Jen Psaki won't tell you that because she's lying through her teeth each and every freaking press conference. Encounters of family units, meanwhile, surged by 25% to 55,805 from 44,746 in May. So I got a little bit of a graph here that's showing kind of the discrepancies between 2018, 2019, and 2020, as well as current year right here, which you're going to see in the blue, and it's showing you the sharp increase here in data going from January when Biden was put in the office till current date as of right now. Well, what did the acting DHS secretary have to say about all this? He says the numbers show that the Biden border crisis is not going to stop until the Biden administration reverses course on its open border policies. Recently, an MSNBC host claimed during a conversation with me that the border crisis actually began under the previous administration. Just like I said, you have the leftist media out there gaslighting this stuff, saying, oh, well, this is the cause of the Trump administration. This is Trump's fault. This is Trump's policies. The graph shows, the statistics show across the board, even if you want to try to manipulate the damn thing, shows that you caused this problem the moment you came into office. That first week, you got rid of Trump's policies, and then you started seeing a spike week after week, month after month, and now we're in the 5th consecutive month here of an increase increase in illegal immigration. And what kind of pressure are you putting on our borders here? I mean, 190,000 people each and every month. Like I said, folks, they're on track here to hit 2 million or more illegal immigrants being apprehended at the US-Mexico border by the end of 2021 this year. That's more people than our combined 3 of our state in population. That's unbelievable numbers. And these are the people that are apprehended. These aren't the people that are making it through here. So God only knows how many thousands of hundreds of thousands of illegal people have crossed into the U.S. through the U.S.-Mexico border into the United States here. This is just nuts, man. And like I said, there's no intention of the Biden administration to stop this. This is what they want. They've wanted this. It's easy for him to just step up. Just as you reversed course in 1 week, you can put that course back on track in 1 week as well. He has no intention of doing it, folks, or else he would have already done it. The only way he's going to do it is if he starts getting pressure from the Democrats or the leftists to stop it. And let's face it, Democrats don't want this, meaning Democrats don't want him to close the border. Democrats want open borders. Leftists want open borders. They want anybody to be able to come into this country willy-nilly and do whatever they want. It doesn't matter. And it kind of makes sense, right? Why they would want MS-13 gang members to come in here. Why they would want drug cartels to come in here. Why they would want all these people to come in because they think they're good people. And those same people that they want coming in here that conservatives look as bad, meaning MS-13 gang members, drug cartels, the smugglers, the violent gang members, all those people coming in, not all the people, again, I want to emphasize, not all the people coming through this border illegally are quote unquote bad people, like criminals. They still committed a crime by just crossing the border illegally. But I'm talking about the MS-13 gang members, the drug cartels, the cartels themselves, violent gang members, murderers, rapists, sex traffickers, all of these people, sex offenders, everybody. These are what the leftists want to allow to come into this country by having open borders. And it makes sense because those same people I just talked about, those criminals, don't like America. They don't like American value system. They don't like American ideals. And it's the same thing with the leftists. They don't like American value system. They don't like American ideals, which is why you see them burning the flags, destroying our cities left and right. So all this stuff makes sense as why Biden's doing what he's doing, because it caters to the leftist ideology that America is bad. America is evil. It's systemically racist. It goes on here to say, this is unfortunately is the reaction by far too many on the left when challenged about the facts of the border crisis made by Biden. It's time to get back to policies that were working, securing our border and giving law enforcement the tools they need. While the mainstream media chooses not to cover this crisis any longer, I could tell you that the local and federal law enforcement officials that I've talked to have never seen conditions so dire. Exactly right. Biden is breaking records here on this illegal immigration crisis. And it's crazy that you have majority of the media not covering this stuff. And the only people you really see is like the Daily Wire, My Channel, conservative news shows like Fox News, or again, the Daily Wire, Blaze Media, all these conservatives that are on YouTube, but you're not seeing MSNBC, you're not seeing CNN, you're not seeing NBC, ABC, all these outlets here covering this type of stuff because it caters to their narrative. This is what they want. They want a crisis so that these people turn in the votes for the Democratic Party. While the mainstream media chooses not to cover this any longer, I can tell you that the local law enforcement officials that I've talked to have never seen the conditions so dire. I urge all Americans to stand up for our system of law and order. Stand up for our law enforcement and do not become numb to this crisis. Now, he's speaking to those that actually care about law enforcement, that care about law and order. But again, the leftists don't care about this stuff. The mainstream media don't care about law and order. They don't care about our law enforcement. We have to remember, you guys, you're talking about people that literally think from the bottom up, all our institutions throughout America, the woven institutions through our social fabric, as well as our physical meta institutions themselves, companies, right? Law enforcement, government institutions, is all based on white supremacy and needs to be torn down. That's the movement of Black Lives Matter. That's the movement of critical race theory, said so by the founders. So they think everything is racist in this country that only benefits white people, and white people are privileged. They think law enforcement is systemically racist. There's entire books on it. There's a book on it. There's a chapter on it about it in my book. The stuff is crazy. The ideology of these leftists, the communist, neo-Marxist, freaking socialist, some fascist ideas that these people are carrying. And we're not supposed to bat an eye about it. We're supposed to look the other way and pretend like it's not happening. And again, Jen Psaki, Joe Biden, the media are all in unison with one another, gaslighting this stuff to make it seem like it's not as big as a problem as it is. Folks, when you have 2 million people projected to come into this country illegally by the end of the year, at what point does that turn into an invasion? At what point does that turn into an immigration crisis or a crisis in general? And like I've mentioned in the past, they've called in FEMA to take care of this. FEMA only handles emergencies for the vast majority of what the work is that they do. So it's just, you try to wrap your head around this, and it's truthfully mind-boggling that it's gotten this bad. And I knew it would get bad under a Democrat. I knew Democrats would reverse some policies from Trump, but I didn't think it would go to this extent. I mean, this goes beyond my wildest imagination. But again, my question is at what point does it turn into that term invasion, or at the very least crisis? Because if 2 million people by the end of this year, and say he keeps these policies in, you're going to have 8 million people by the end of four years. I mean, 8 million people? Can you imagine a country storming our borders with 8 million people? I don't know. And again, I'm not saying all these illegal immigrants are bad. I'm not saying that they have bad intentions. Some of these people want a better life, but that doesn't give you a right just to come in here illegally because you want a better life. You have to actually have asylum seeking papers and make sure that's actually asylum seeking papers are according to what you are actually coming in here for. Again, many of them trying to seek asylum don't even meet the requirements. About 99% of them don't. So that says it all right there. They're just trying to come in willy-nilly, cut the corners when you have all these people standing in line trying to do the right thing, coming in through the correct laws here and procedures, where you got other people think they're maybe better than other people, or they're in dire consequences or dire environment where they need to come over here. I could spend hours talking about this stuff and the frustrations I have with the handling of the Biden administration on the U.S.-Mexico border. But there you have it, folks. Breaking news. Joe Biden's border crisis significantly worsens for the 5th consecutive month. Will we reach a 6th month? I don't know here. But folks, if you enjoy the Bald Brad Show and you like this show, please hit that like and subscribe button. Leave me a comment. It really does help with the YouTube algorithm. Many conservatives are being silenced, not just here on YouTube, but on TikTok, Facebook, Twitter. All the big tech is silencing conservatives, and the only way for really us to get our voice out there is to force that algorithm that's done by AI to hit that like and subscribe button, so it forces our video to get out there. So I really do ask for your help. Send it with your friends and family on social media. Anybody that will support a conservative, show them my show, please, and ask them the support. It really does help us out here at the Bald Brad Show, and I'll see you a little bit later here on the Bald Brad Show.